Remorseful, Mom slips into her daughter's dorm. Deanna Pilling had an idea that she believed would work well. The day before her daughter McKenna was supposed to visit her in New York, she intended to surprise her at the university. Despite her kind intentions, are college students truly interested in having their parents surprise them? No, is the response. Welcome to USA Stories channel. Do not forget to subscribe and activate the bell button to receive all new updates. Now let's go to the story. Naturally, this thoughtful mother's excellent concept suddenly turned into something far worse. Although McKenna and Deanna had always been close, Deanna was surprised to learn that her New York daughter was determined to attend Utah State University when it came time for McKenna to choose her college. The idea of her daughter being so far away from home while she was studying broke Deanna. She did, however, ultimately accept her daughter's choice. She decided to help McKenna since she realized it was time for her to leave the nest. McKenna had been away from her mother for months, and now her summer plans included a visit back to New York to spend time with her family. In fact, she was due to leave the very following day. At that point, Deanna made the unfortunate decision to carry out her plan. Her goal was to give her daughter a surprise visit at college. Deanna had no clue how disastrous this concept would turn out to be for everyone concerned. Deanna didn't tell her daughter about her plan because she believed that surprising McKenna a day before she was set to go would be really special. And who wouldn't want their mother to pay them a surprise visit? Thus, without uttering a word to McKenna, Deanna was prepared. Full of enthusiasm, she had discovered a last-minute ticket from New York City to Utah. However, she had no clue what type of surprise awaited her in Utah when she made her travel arrangements. The gullible mother even attempted to phone McKenna to find out what her plans for the evening were when she was waiting to catch her aircraft. Sadly, for the kind mother, McKenna chose not to respond. Deanna only prayed her kid would be there when she eventually boarded the aircraft. Maybe she hadn't given this much thought, but it was too late to regret her decision. 5 hours later, Deanna touched down in Logan, Utah without incident. Climbing into a taxi, she readied herself for the last part of her journey to Utah State University. Then her cell started ringing. Deanna became anxious upon realizing that McKenna was returning her call. She was concerned that her daughter might discover anything was wrong when she heard her voice, but she didn't want to ruin the surprise. She turned down the call right away. The worried mother did not want McKenna to think that she was preparing something. 9 months prior, Deanna had assisted McKenna with her relocation and settled in. It was her final visit to the school. It was just her second time seeing the massive skyscraper, and it left her feeling lost and confused. Could she recall the location of her daughter's dorm? With the assistance of their families, students were moving out for the summer, making it a bustling time on campus. Deanna moved slowly through the crowd, keeping her head down to avoid being recognized. The university was far bigger than she recalled, much to her dismay. She started to feel overpowered. She was cautious to make sure no one could see her and ruin the surprise as she made her way to her daughter's room. She explored the campus, looking for recognizable faces in the crowds, keeping an eye out for McKenna's buddies. She eventually located her daughter's building. After some time spent aimlessly wandering around, as she made her way through the maze-like corridors, Deanna recognized a few of McKenna's pals from Facebook. She exhaled a breath of calm. She was positive that she was in the correct building, at least. After riding the elevator to her daughter's floor, Deanna surveyed her surroundings anxiously. It had been the longest period of time she had ever been gone from McKenna. She approached McKenna's dorm room gently and rapped on the door. After pausing for a short while, Deanna knocked again, but no one answered. She couldn't wait to see McKenna's reaction when she spotted her standing there. She would be astonished. After a few more minutes of waiting, her heart began to sag. It was obvious that no one was home. To her astonishment, Deanna discovered that the door wasn't locked when she fiddled with the doorknob. She had instructed her daughter to always keep her room closed. She scowled as she shoved it aside and flung the door wide, never dreaming what would be waiting for her inside. When Deanna first glanced into the dorm, she noticed that a couple of the girls were packing. She waved quickly, then hurried inside McKenna's room, which was absolutely vacant. Had she misread the dates in some way? Deanna's eyes grew wide as she scanned the space. It was immaculate. All of her books, clothing, posters, and personal items had been removed by McKenna. A stack of boxes, neatly arranged in a row, rested on the floor. Deanna was so tired and jet-lagged after her vacation that this fresh setback was nearly too much to handle. Glancing over to the single surviving item in the room, the bed, she saw that it was set up invitingly. Perhaps she might wait for McKenna's return here. Setting her baggage aside, she removed her shoes from her sore feet. She chose to lie down since the newly made bed was too good to resist. Deanna closed her eyes as she slept in a cozy bed. She shook her head no. Should she be asleep when McKenna came, it would destroy her surprise. Then she thought of a better one. In a mommy goose way, she chose to let her kid know where she was. Deanna got out her phone while still lying on the bed and snapped a selfie. When McKenna discovered her mom had gone all the way to visit her, she thought she would be astounded. However, McKenna's response was different from what Deanna had expected. Perplexed, McKenna said, "Where?" When Deanna saw the message, she scowled. Was McKenna unable to identify her own bed? Then McKenna's following message made Deanna's heart plummet. "I'm at my dorm," it said. "Tell me you're not in someone else's dormitory, please." The realization of the reality caused Deanna's face to flush warmly. Deanna was struck by the reality like a brick and instantly stood up. Whose room was McKenna in if she was at her dorm, as she claimed? She ran down the corridor, trying to get out of the room before anyone saw her. She then retorted saying, "I'm in the wrong dorm." OMG. Her horrible error left her unsure of how to react, to laugh or cry. Deanna subsequently remarked, "I felt sick to my stomach because I'd already said hi to several people in the dorm, and they probably have no idea who I am." She then gave a little laugh. "Oh my God, I didn't even look at the building's name," I thought to myself. I could be in the incorrect building. Subsequently, Deanna discovered that the room she had been in was actually McKenna's, located just next to her. Furthermore, McKenna's response to her mother's error was priceless. She found the whole thing so hilarious that she shared her mother's texts on Twitter right away, before seeing McKenna's tweet a few days later. The girl whose room Deanna had boldly broken into was unaware. "Is that my pillow?" she said, making a comment on it. McKenna gave an explanation. However, as soon as McKenna shared her mother's error, the internet went crazy. The mother and her daughter were not prepared for such a strong reaction. "Nothing at all was expected of it," McKenna remarked. "I just assumed friends and family would see it, but now it's completely gone everywhere." She continued by saying that although her mother often planned surprises for her, this one had been the funniest by far. Deanna, though, did not find it quite as funny. Deanna was happy that everyone was laughing, even if it was at her cost, after her terrible mistake. Deanna is worried about one thing, though. More faves and retweets appear every time I check my account, and my mom's only comment these days is, "I wish I had taken a better photo." Please remember to subscribe to our channel, give us a thumbs up, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any of our videos. If you enjoyed the tale, the next video that plays on your screen will probably move you too.